welcome to my shop. A lot of things happened since we saw us the last time. I had kind of a summer break. Okay, what happened here in the shop? I've got a new lathe, and this is a 1 horsepower MIDI lathe, and this baby really makes turning more well sufficient, and I enjoy the turning on this baby. This had been a dream for me for a long time, and I'm very thankful for all the ones who supported me that I had been able to purchase this one and well, improve on my turning by using, well, proper tools. I won't go away from this showing simple projects, as this is the basic where I started and this is the basic where I came from. And although I spend a lot of money on that, this doesn't mean I have a lot of money to spend, so I go for cheap. Okay, one thing when you are upgrading, for all the ones who've got a lathe I had before, and you are upgrading your lathe, you encountered then that whenever something breaks off your lathe, it flies around this far. Nothing more, so not important. It's enough to wear some safety glasses. But the first thing I purchased, and this is the only one time I'm talking about safety, is a full face shield. And I went for this 3M one because for me the advantage of that one is that it has a built-in hearing protection. So whenever I need to turn, and I'm very sensitive on noise, the hearing protection works well, and it just goes off like this. You don't have to search for it. And for all the ones who are concerned that a shield might, well, okay, you can't hear me, a shield might interfere you, after, well, an hour of turning, you won't recognize that there is a shield or not. The shield doesn't fog and everything. So this is one important thing you have to have when you are upgrading your cheap lathe or the lathe with less horsepowers. So this baby got 1 horsepower. The other one should have had, well, half a horsepower, but it never had half a horsepower when I compared to this baby. Okay, with that said, let's go over to this week's project. As I said, I'm always on cheap. I went to a dollar store and bought 3 wine glasses. Set of 3 here for €4, and that's almost nothing. So I broke off the bottom of the stem and the base and made these pieces here. And I hope you enjoy the following couple of minutes when I build this. And again, I have to say thank you very much for everyone who's supporting me, and for everyone who likes the show, who comments on this show. So in a way, this is an upcycle project. So Manhattan Wood project is welcome, and this is my one of my prizes I got from the 2x4 challenge. And I'm very, very happy, and I really appreciate this prize, as it comes really in handy. Okay, with that said, let's go on and follow me along for the next couple of minutes how I made these beautiful wine glasses. This is how I prepared the blanks. The base is beech, and this is cross grain, like you would turn a bowl. So the grain is running this direction. This piece is a piece of sapelli, and this is like spindle turning, long grain. The grain grain is going into this direction, and this gives us the challenging part of getting the transition here cut in the right way, because when you try to cut the end grain with a skew chisel, it will be hard, and you have to get transition. But what I start up with is I cut this to length and get off the small depression from the spindle turning here, and from there on I'll start drilling into this bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and make some shavings. Okay, I start by chewing this up a little, because it's a little out of round, and I'm using skew chisel for this, for the sapelli part, and my bowl gouge for the base. In case somebody's wondering, I'm turning at around 1700 rounds per minute. Okay, the base is roughly shaped, and now I go ahead and mark the position, because I had others made the same, so I just marked the length of the sapelli stem on that one, as this should be the same as on my other pieces. Next, I just marked the center with my life center here. Get a new depression in here, which is actually right in the center now. Okay, so let's go ahead and drill into the stem here to accept the glass. I'm drilling with 8.5 millimeter into the end. I want to go in deep, like 6 centimeters. My tailstock just protrudes 5 centimeters from here on, so I just, well, estimate and measure later. Speed is at around, well, 500 rounds per minute now. To widen that hole, I'm using my self-made scraper, and as you see, it's scraping from here, it's sharpened from here to the tip, like, well, round nose, flat side scraper, and so I can go in and scrape away whatever I don't want to have. And I'm doing this at 1700 or 1200 rounds per minute now. Well, it's shattering a lot it's shattering a lot, but this doesn't matter as this is just the inside. Okay, I'm getting there. Okay, in order to find out where to, I know where to, but I'll get a Sharpie now. And I mark the, well, just put a mark on the glass here. And just put that in here. And see that it is away here, so I have to start scraping away in this depth here. Okay, now I start to do the layout, and as I have got one piece turned ahead, I want to have the same shape or similar shape. I go ahead and get the measurements here, which is 65 millimeters and a 10 millimeter. Okay, so 65 and 10. I know the depth should be somewhere around 15 millimeters now. Set the calipers to 15 millimeters, and I go ahead and turn down these 2 points to 15 millimeters now. But first I mark them a little bit better. Okay. 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 Now it's time for some serious shaping. I start by making a small bead up here. I'm testing my new tool, which is an 8 millimeter spindle gouge, and I set the grind to somewhere more like the Irish grind of Robbie. As you see here, as I bought this with an English grind, which looks more like a shovel to me, instead of this more detailed one. I can't use this one. I have never used this. Well, I tried this, but I've never really used this, and this is, well, it's not feeling comfortable. I'm just testing the new one here now and see whether this works or not. Let's give it a try. Okay, you just witnessed some water coming in here, but I guess I'm pretty okay by now, as I could save this on the outside before it get worse. And now I know the mistake, but I can't do anything about that. It's Sunday and I don't have the money to pay one of these emergency firms for repairing the rain drip, which is not that good here. So go ahead and turn this thing to a finish. What I'm going to do now is I taper the side from the top side, and I'm using the spindle gouge and see how it works, and then for finishing I'm using this cube. It's hard to stay concentrated while you have something like this around you, but I'll try. Okay, so as they said, for the people of Lower Saxony, where I'm from, well, you can cry because of something happened, but, well, okay, it happened, and you can't change anything about that, so why getting upset? So now it's just a matter of calming down, and this is not that easy, but I'll get there. Okay, so next thing is I clear up this part here a little to get the shape of this thingy done. Okay, as you see, this is my problem now. I'm doing cross grain, and I'm trying to do this with a spindle gouge. And this is not the best way to cut on cross grain. While it is on the long grain, it's perfect. It's a perfect cut here. So I have to figure out a way how to minimize the cross grain cutting, as I want to go back with the skew with the bowl gouge to clear off this part here again, but I'll get there. I'm getting there, and that's what you see. Okay, shake this one up. Three coats of shellac, and I buff it out with some steel wool, same as Mike is doing. And this is the preparation for putting the lacquer on. And now I'm just taking it off the lathe and get it onto the place where I put the lacquer on. Okay, ready for the second coat. Okay, I'll let this sit now for 24 hours and come back, buff it out and put on some wax. Okay, everything ready, and now I go ahead and protect myself, as well, epoxy is sometimes kind of nasty and you don't want to have anything on yourself. Don't wear the best clothes, as a drop might ruin everything. Okay, so you should have everything prepared and ready. You have to have a clean working surface, and this is this over here. And I'm using 5-minute epoxy, which needs to be mixed in a ratio of 1:1, 1 part resin, 1 part hardener. And I've got them over here. I also marked it with 1 for the resin and 2 for the hardener, as when resin goes into the hardener, it's not that critical, but if a drop of hardener goes into the resin will start hardening and you can't use it after a while. I've got a couple of plastic shot glasses here, and I'm starting by mixing up an amount of resin and hardener. Now I'm using this kitchen scale and set that to 0. Go ahead and pour some resin into the glass. This plastic glass here. This is, I'm not sure how much. I guess I'll go for 5 grams or so. Let's see how much this is. Just 24. I guess 3. This is 2 grams. I don't know how much this is, as I have never used that before. And I'll go for 3 to 3. So pour in until the scale goes to 3. A little more, as I don't want to have more hardener than resin. It's not good. Okay. Set that to 0 again. Now when I start pouring that in, the 5 minutes starts. Okay, so wish me luck. And 3. That's it. Always close them as soon as you got this. I've got this spatula, which is from glue. Just stir this up, get a nice and even consistence on here. Well, that's far too much, I see, but okay, for the next time I just use half of it, or, well, 2 grams should be enough for, instead of 3, okay, I see, I'm learning. As I did the test, I encountered one thing. Don't put the epoxy too near, too close to the rim, as when you enter the glass into the hole, the air gets trapped inside here and it pushes out, so the epoxy will be pushed out and can't be, well, you get a lot of squeeze out. So try to get this as deep into the hole. Just drop it in. That's what I do. Just pour a couple of drops in here. Also put a little on the stem itself, but not too far up. Okay. Now, just try to get this in as straight as possible. Okay, here I hear it. This is it. Yep, this is it. That's all. For this one, leave it. Second one. I still got enough time to do the second one as well. Just ensure that you have got no resin on your fingers where you actually hold the glass or whatever. So pour in some resin. Okay, in case you get a squeeze out, it's not that critical. Within the first 5 minutes or the 5 minutes the epoxy starts, it hasn't hardened yet, or if it gets like kind of a jelly, then you can go ahead and use some acetone and wipe it off. That's it. So it's that easy to get the squeeze out away, but this is only possible until the epoxy is hardened. When the epoxy is hardened, you can't do anything. That's it. Okay, number 2. Let's see. Stripping, that's okay. And here we go. Got a little squeeze out, but I'll leave that. Looks pretty nice. It's not that disturbing if you get a little ring, but not too much. That would be bad. Okay, just glasses in there correctly, and that's it. Put a little more on here. It's not, well, okay, it's done. That's it. That's it. Okay, leave it. Check. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. These have been my 5 minutes of gluing in glass. Okay. So, finally, this project is finished, and I'm very glad that you have been around with me. Enjoy the pictures at the end here. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section, and leave a thumbs up if you like the video. If you don't like it, well, give me a thumbs down. And I hope to see you on a more regular basis now for the rest of the year, as it had been, this year had been that irregular, and well, I don't want to go into that one deeper at this point, as you've just enjoyed my wine glass build. Okay, with that said, with greetings from good old Germany, it's your Peter Freitag. Thank God it's Friday.